And this holds the board underneath called a bat. And then I start throwing the pot. That's my thinking chair. That's the best rocking chair in the whole world. It's made by Amish people. Mennonite people in Pennsylvania. And once I get centered, then I'm ready to start the pot and drop an opening. And when you get down to the depth that you want the pot to be, you'll slide your fingers over, and that clay just opens up for you.
Do all pots start the same way?
They all start with centering, all the thrown pots. I make pots with slabs. I make pots with extrusions. We use a lot of different formative techniques, but all thrown pots will start just this way. I call myself a wheelaholic. I love throwing pots.
Is that fun?
Yeah, I've been throwing pots over 32 years, and I truly love making pottery. I didn't discover it until later in life, but from the very first day, I knew I was born to be a potter. I truly did.
And so you're using a sponge to keep it real moist?
The clay essentially has to slip through your hands, and you control the speed and keep it moist and keep it balanced. So see, I've got that big bulge in the beginning. I'm just going to even those walls out before I actually start forming the pot. There you go. Now this is going to be a large bowl, but it's not going to fall out until later. So my objective in the beginning is to get that clay up into a large inverted cone. So you grab it down at the bottom and just pull it up into the air and gradually control your speed as you go. A lot of people will say, "Oh, how long did it take you to make that pot?" And I'll go, "It took me 1 hour and 32 years." So
Seems like it's definitely something that you learn from trial and error.
Yes, you just have to make hundreds and thousands of pots to really get good at them. So I'll undercut under there so I can grab that clay, and then you'll see it's a really fun thing. They're going to fall out. It's a very unusual technique. I learned it from a master potter from Richmond, Virginia, Lee Hazelgrove. And I saw him do it at a workshop and ran home and practiced until I was able to do it. And he learned from a master potter in Japan. Yeah. Lee and I still are friends. We kind of watched each other have children and raise families together. And he's still a very well-known master potter in Richmond, Virginia. There you go. Okay, now we're going to lean it out just a little bit, and then we're going to walk it out with the stick. Here we go. And you'll see why I love this technique. We're going to give it, these are called pulls. And I'm going to give it one more pull, and then it's ready to come out. And I mean, by itself, that's not a bad bowl for a function. But when they fan out, then you have them, they make great salad bowls, fruit bowls, all kinds of wonderful bowls. All right, we're going to get one last cut under there. Now when we're through, when this comes off the wheel, I'm going to trim that bottom up, and it'll have a really nice foot. There you go. All right, and I leave that arch in there so that the stick will adhere to it. And you can watch what's happening next. My daughter-in-law made a stick for me. She and my son, who's a master woodworker. And this is a walnut stick that I use. Looks like just a little stick with threads on it. And I moisten the stick, clean it up a little bit, and don't let me get clay on you. Back up just a little bit, sorry about that noise. And hold on to it. I'll lock it up under my arm, so I'll get clay all over me. And you'll see what's going to happen. This is the fun part. Now that we're filming this, of course, you know this is going to fall over. And the clay holds its form. The clay has such amazing wet strength. You would never believe a pot could do this. And I'm just laying that bowl out there. And I'll lay it out 2 or 3 times, and then I'll let it rest. And I'll come back and lay it out again in about an hour.
What's the, are you letting it dry a little bit?
You let it dry a little bit, and then you press it back down one more time. Although you don't have to do that, that keeps it just a little bit flatter and enriches the shape just a little bit more. There you go. And later I'll push that little bit up right there, or I'll incorporate it and make it part of the design. And the very last thing I do is, because you're making a pot and because your hands have touched it and it's not something that you can buy at Walmart, I leave sort of like a little piece of Zen meditation down in the bottom of each pot. And I'll take my finger, turn the pot on, the wheel on really slow, press it down, and leave a wonderful spiral, which is a universal symbol for many, many religions. There you go. Clean it up so you don't have a sharp edge. And I won't touch that again till after the firing. That's never going to be altered. There you go.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And because I threw it on that board, then I have my magic screwdriver, all these sophisticated tools. And I just pop it up and move it off the wheel head. And there you go. So, okay. And we could do tall things, skinny things, whatever. But that's one of my favorite forms. Okay.
It's really neat to see it come out.
Thank you.